Good morning, welcome to another thought for the day. I'm sure, like me, you will have seen the news of what's been happening over in America about how there has been this terrible murder of an African American man, George Floyd, by the police who were there to protect and serve him. And it goes to show that the levels of racism that still exist within society, both in America but also here within the United Kingdom. And you can see that the anger and the pain of the African American community over in the United States. And it's very easy for people to get caught up with feeling a degree of indignation about the damage that's done to property and so on in the wake of riots, and to allow that message to detract away from the actual issues that caused those protests to take place in the first place. That in a society which is based on freedom, still there are systemic injustices that take place on a daily basis. Now, as a white person, I cannot possibly understand what it's like to be in that position. When I go for a job interview, I only have to worry about whether or not my ability is good enough for the job. I don't have to worry about the colour of my skin because I'm white. But that's not something that black people often find. When I'm stopped by the police, largely I don't have to worry because I'm white. And that's certainly something which people in America who are black don't feel, because they've lived with, for such a long time, law enforcement that have enforced racist law and who use brutality against them in a disproportionate way to white people. Now, why does this matter? I've read a lot of stuff on social media today. Why does this matter? 3,500 miles away. Why does it matter what happens in America? It matters because those views that spark this kind of behavior and culture where it's acceptable for a person, a white police officer, to kneel on the neck of a black unarmed man until he suffocates to death. That culture doesn't come from America. It doesn't come from a country. It's born in the human heart. It is exacerbated by centuries worth of oppression, both legally and culturally within nations. But it's born in the human heart, and so therefore it's as much of an issue for you and I today here in Bath as it is around the world. And so we need to reflect upon our own hearts. We need to reflect upon our own viewpoints on whether we are prepared to make a stand, because it's not enough to simply say I'm not racist, because our silence on this issue is part of the problem. That we need to speak up, that we need to take a stand against racism in all its forms. And yes, all lives matter, but not all lives are taken so brutally and so unjustly as George Floyd's was, and as many other African Americans are, and many black people who suffer here in the United Kingdom. So let's reflect today honestly, and I will honestly, upon the state of our own hearts and how we can make a stand for change, for justice, and for equality. So God bless you, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.